Good evening, and welcome to the Prince George's County Memorial Library System. My name is Nick. It's my great pleasure to represent the library system tonight. I'm the CO for Communication and Outreach. Thank you all for joining us. Special thank you to Board of Library Trustees member Hiram LaRue, who has been the guru behind making this series get off the ground. And we look forward to continuing it in the months to come virtually and then eventually back in person for those who can join us once it is safe to do that at the buildings. This has been a really fabulous series, and we're grateful to have distinguished hosts from throughout the community come on each week, and some very special guests, which we'll talk about in a second as well, beyond the hosts. And a couple PSAs before we get started with things, and then I'll introduce our hosts. The first PSA is United States Census. Please be sure that you and your household get counted. Each individual's participation is worth $18,250 in federal funds for Prince George's County over the next 10 years. The deadline has been extended to October 5th. Maybe it will get extended more. We don't know. It's a strange time to be alive, but please do the census if you have not done it yet. my2020census.gov, super easy. The other announcement is to please consider participating in the election. Voting information is available at our website, PGCMLS.info. You can request a mail-in ballot. You can learn about early voting. You can learn about day of voting on November 3rd, whatever method works for you. There is an option. Please note that the voting centers are different this time around because of COVID. So it's very important to check the polling locations, and also note that you can go to any polling location in the county. You don't have to just go to the one nearest to your home. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our wonderful host for the evening. Her name is Diane Wilbon Parks. She is a fabulous poet and community leader, self-described as a visual poet, a serious writer who has the unique ability to paint words, as in her poem, The Voice of Hunger, which is a visual representation of pain caused by hunger. Diane is a veteran of the United States Air Force, so we thank you, Diane, for your service. I was Army. I will not hold it against you. Air Force tended to have it better in many ways. We appreciate you taking care of us from up above. And she is also a poet of excellence as recognized by the Prince George's County Arts and Humanities Council. She's a leader, advocate, role model, and visionary for the arts community here in the county and beyond. She's the author of 2 poetry collections, a small chapbook, and a children's book. And her works have been included in numerous anthologies, online articles, and newsletters. And we feel very fortunate and grateful that she is spending some time with us tonight. So I'm going to turn things over to Diane, and she'll tell you about a very special guest and then about the procedures for the evening.
Welcome. I am so excited this evening in anticipation of having a wonderful conversation with Grace. But let me first start by saying I am very happy and honored to be tonight's host of Hope and Light. And I am thanking the Prince George's County Memorial Library System for selecting me as one of their hosts for this evening. I think we're going to have an amazing evening. I get to talk to, before we start everything, I wanted to do something that Grace always does. Grace always has been interviewing others, and this is not so much an interview, but just a wonderful conversation. You know, when I thought about Hope and Light, who else to bring into the fold this evening but Grace Cavalieri? If you all know her, you know that she is light, she is love, she's all of those wonderful things. So I will start by just giving you a small snippet of who Grace is. Grace Cavalieri is Maryland's 10th Poet Laureate. She is the founder and producer of The Poet and the Poem, now from the Library of Congress, celebrating 44 years on air. Her latest book is What the Psychic Said. Her latest play is Quilting the Sun. So without further ado, I want to be able to introduce someone who I absolutely love, Grace Cavalieri. How are you this evening?
Diane, honestly, I'm so glad I came. Really. You know, I always told you that life was a mirror, and all the things you were always saying about everyone, I think maybe it looks back on yourself, talking about hope and light. I'm going to throw it right back at you, Diane. I want everyone to know that Diane is my favorite artist, and her paintings are on my wall in my living room. And when people come into my house, they go right to those paintings. It is like a
Wow.
magnet. It's like a magnet. She's one of the greatest painters in the country, and I don't think the world knows it yet.
Wow,
I'm here to say
Grace.
it.
I am so honored. I'm always honored by your beautiful words. And the one thing that I want people to get from you is just how much love and light is on the inside of you. So I want to know, so Grace, how do you start your day? How do you light your day?
Oh, that is such a good question. First of all, we all have the same light. That's the cool thing. That's why we all can write poetry, right? There's just one
Right.
light on everybody. Dogs, cats, Diane, Grace, everyone. And that's what we write out of. And that's our commonality. So um, I'm happy to say we all have our share. I do meditate every morning, and I drink tea and write poetry. I write a morning poem if I can every morning, and then I meditate every morning. And
Wow.
that's my day off. And
Wow.
it really centers me, it grounds me, it takes me out of all the to-do things you have to do. And there's something about being still that is really very refreshing. And so just being still and meditating, I have a group online, and that is the way I begin my day.
Wow, that's beautiful, Grace. I think a lot of poets do start the same way. They actually start writing in the morning. I kind of cleanse. It's almost a cleansing for me.
Hmm.
And some of the other things that I kind of want to know. I actually, I know you well, but I did. Guess what? I looked this morning on Wikipedia, and I saw all of your accomplishments. So, even though I gave a small snippet of who you are, I went on Wikipedia and saw all of these wonderful awards and accolades and all of the books that you've written, the plays. You are someone to follow in their footsteps. I tell you, you've done so much. And so my question to you is, out of all the wonderful things that you've done, what would you say has given you the most satisfaction and where you can feel the most light?
That is good. That is such a question. Honestly, first of all those things are just because I'm old. If you live long enough, you get to do a lot of stuff. I think I'm very happy about the poet and the poem from the Library of Congress, because I've interviewed about 3,000 people, and for almost 45 years, and it has been a movement. It has been a creative movement, a spiritual movement, and it is not a selfless act. I get so much back from the poet. I'm in a bubble with the poet, and I get to hear that intimate life of the other person. I enter that psychosis, and I come back so hydrated. I also think that writing about women in history is the next thing I'm very happy about. I had a play on in New York about Harriet Powers, the ex-slave quilt maker, whose quilt is in the Smithsonian. And it was very important to see that come to life for me.
I thank you for spending these precious moments answering these wonderful questions. I think people get to see a different part of you that, maybe they don't know who you are, because some of these folks are in Georgia. I know I have a lot of family and friends from Georgia that are there, but I just adore you. And I think that so many people who know you just adore you, Grace.
I adore you, Diane. We can go home now.
Yeah, we're all done, right?
That's what we came for. Diane and Grace are back together again, adoring each other.
That's right. But you cannot leave without reading some poetry.
Okay, I'll read 3 short ones. The one I always start with is how a poem begins, Diane, because people think poetry is like golf. It's just something we do. It's the icing on the cake, not the cake itself. What poetry really is a vibration of the spirit, which can change the world. If you think of just everyone sitting still long enough to write a poem, if everyone did that, there would be no wars. So it's a very powerful spiritual vibration that is bigger than the page. So this is called How a Poem Begins. It's a little thing. Could be the long O's in Kosovo, or a woman alone in the street after the hurricane sweeping Honduras. Perhaps we tell of the child beneath the flood in New Orleans, or feet bloody from walking the rubble of Afghanistan. Such a tiny voice, no one can hear. Sometimes it says, I can't breathe. That's why we write of such little things, insignificant things. And I mentioned that I like to bring women in history back to life. Yay! And Mary Wollstonecraft was the first woman to write a book in English, a serious book, not a fluffy romantic thing. She wrote The Vindication of the Rights of Women. And no one knew who she was because Mary Shelley, her daughter, got all the press. You know, Mary Shelley married the poet Shelley and wrote Frankenstein, and everybody knows her. But her mother is the first feminist we know. And so I've written a book of poems in her voice, and I'm going to read the first one where she's asking the Reverend Clare, who lives in the village, to teach her how to read and write. And this is being done behind her father's back, or she would have gotten beaten severely. So this is called Dear Reverend Clare. You ask if hope gets me up in the morning. I say yes, not in your house where everything exists, but in mine where all things are lost. The top latch takes the weight of the door, and so it is true as I teach Liza and Everina all that you teach me. You say my child's sense of wonder is coupled with a grown person's knowing grief, and why shouldn't it be? You are talking to a girl with a pencil hidden in a broken cup on top the highest shelf, stained by curdled cream, behind a ceramic pitcher where it cannot be thrown away. Mm-hmm. And I'll end with, I was married for a very long time to a man who was a metal sculptor after a naval aviator, after a career in the Navy. And the great thing about that marriage was that we gave each other our own space because he was an artist and I was an artist. But nevertheless, there was a bond where we never wanted to go very far. And this is called Advice Regarding a Field of Reindeer in the Snow. If your husband is sleeping, you can leave him a message and go in the airplane with a mysterious pilot just for an hour to land in strange cities, farmlands, perhaps with wet leaves and wooden houses with ruffled curtains. You may walk to the edge of what you thought was a forest and look through a thick wall of ice with a gigantic hole and see field after field of reindeer, brushed with snow, standing still. How beautiful, like frozen statues, cold and silent, each staring straight at you. Line after line of them, a sight you'd never have seen had you stayed home. You'll never forget it. But remember to leave a note before you go, or your return will be bleak. It will ruin everything. Trip, field, reindeer, snow. Thank you very much, honey.
Thank you, Grace. Amazing.
Thank you, sweetie.
All three enlightening.
I love you.
Amazing. Oh, wow. We are so grateful to have you with us this evening. So before we move to the open mic, I wrote, thank you, Grace. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, honey.
So I'm going to read now. I'm just so enlightened, excited, and just, you know, I'm just feeling all that light from Grace. So I wanted to also tell you, if you ever come to my house, I think folks that know, I always light a candle for an event. So I have light. I think you can see the flicker of this candle. I lit a candle before I came on. I wrote a poem, but I want to tell you this poem, I kind of did a little cheating. This poem is lines from 5 of my own poems. So I combined them to create a poem entitled Hope and Light. Inasmuch as I can take, give me light. Inasmuch as I can dream, give me hope. And the souls of first stars lit by rays that burn with intensity to love, to crave such harmony that shine as a string of lights bellowing in air. With every string that falls into knitting, my hope is that you take your place, take your dreams and swing them over your shoulders across America, across Europe, into Africa and India and Asia. Leave your Moulin teas, fill every space, every dark space with the candle of your smile. Shave the moon of its starlit dust. Spread your light and hope on others. Open the jar of every part of you that loves, that sings and wants and dreams and hopes with the burning rays that rise inside your throat. There is always a sun spinning loose there. There are no secrets. There is no darkness, only light. Love like weddings. Take the gaze from these God-stretched years, these cherished pearled reflections, this daydreaming skin that swells from the blue that glows like mirrors from the lakes that swoon in shades of blue jade. Give the world the sound of trees full of air and hope. Bend into gold strands that lean in and shine. Every prayer is a melody. Roll your big tall heads back in as much as you can take. Give your light in as much as you can dream. Give hope and love like the souls of bright stars. I want you guys to see.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Like bright stars.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Oh my God, this is my beautiful gift that I cherish forever, Grace.
That was so glorious. My body actually responded to it. So much electricity came through, so much energy. That's what's in your paintings. That's what's in your paintings, Diane. What do you eat for breakfast?
Oh, I don't know. I'm always like this.
You are. You are.
Well, let's see. Well, Grace, now guess what? We are moving into our open mic. And guess who's up next? None other than Hiram LaRue. Hi, Hiram.
Hi. Hello, everyone. And I'm so honored to be here amongst this wonderful family of poets, and we all want to thank the Prince George's County Memorial Library system, Nick Brown and his colleagues there, for making it possible to host this kind of event for us in these uncertain times. I'm also very attuned to the theme of this evening's event, and so I'll read a piece called Hope. It's an older piece. Hope. For all the cooks who in the early mornings, especially the cold mornings, turn grills on and get batter ready for them and for hillsides, particularly the ones that slope up just enough to bring on panting, but not stopping, for them as well. And for washcloths, the most helpful being cotton and old ones, for all of them, mostly because they are sleepy in a rousing sort of way. Thanks very much, Diane.
Thank you, Hiram. I love that. Slope up just enough. Okay. Well, guess who is up next? None other than the infamous voice coming to the mic. We have Lady Di.
Hello there, Queen.
Hello, Lady Di. How are you?
I'm excited over top of excited to see all of you.
Oh my
But
goodness.
after last evening, I wrote today, make sure you vote. Our ancestors are still speaking to us. Wait on their stories. They come not forced. Whatever we are going through, someone else is going through it too. Let life inspire you. Be ever so kind, so fine, so moving, so worthy to celebrate. Celebrate good times. Make sure you vote. Begging you not to ignore this blessed opportunity. Be a part. Take it to heart. Our ancestors did their part. Yes, yes, yes. They got into good trouble so we could make and have our say. So today, make a promise to ourselves. Say, I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote. I'm going to take someone else with me, be a part of history, be a part of change, be a part of a fresh new start, filled our lungs with love and light. Add a smile. Make sure you vote.
Thank you, Lady Di. Yes, we need that, right? Make sure we vote. Thank you so much. The next name that I have on the list is Cecilia Martinez. Is Cecilia here with us? It's hard for me to scroll and see. So I may just drop down to the next person until we, until someone says, yes, I am here.
Cecilia on the list at the moment.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nick. So the next person up is Brenda Bunting. Brenda, are you ready?
Yes, I am. I am enjoying this. And thank you so much, Prince George's County Public Memorial Library System, if I'm saying it right, and Lady, and just everyone, Creative Suitland, and of course, hosting. The poem I'm going to read is called My Loneliness. When I was younger, I had traumatic separation, and as well as just some abandonment issues, which I was blessed and fortunate enough to work through, but I did deal with overpowering loneliness for a while. So this is my loneliness. My loneliness is an awkward dance, a stumbling lifelong prance through dark rooms where I am constantly trying to find the light switch, but I cannot get up off the floor. It sticks to me like plaque lining inside my veins, something that doesn't quite belong, but it is a byproduct of living, of life consumption. You don't want it, but it clings to you. A deadly buildup that stings in you and sings its despairing song and make your life feel worthless and make you feel wrong. And you move along through day and night looking for another color besides the dreary blue-gray. You wear that color and taste it all day. And the fact and fantasy of electric neon colors never come into play, although I have heard so much about them. My loneliness is a painful awareness letting me know I have no abundance of emotional resiliency, and I feel like the consciousness is killing me. I've been shunned, picked on for fun, bullied and stunned. I don't like this creature's persistence, the keep coming back insistence that I experienced first through childhood rejection and again in nighttime reflections. And again, when I moved away to another city and state, my junior year of high school, and did not realize the significant situation of neighborhoods and communities and families and friends, because all I knew was that, and then suddenly it was gone. And the creeping doubt for the very reason for my existence pushed into my head, where do I belong? My loneliness is a back-breaking ache, such all-encompassing power that pushes past everything to say, I am here and I am not leaving. This haunting ghost and shadow demon dogging my experiences makes me think, why is this so harsh? Days and hours of my many years, I am confronted with the same doubt and fear, and my self-worth has slowly been drained. Every time I get strong again, it is sucked out of me by an invisible vampire created from the ruthless cruelty of being the prey and the dejection. So I become a window shopper who does not have the needed funds and necessary investment for expensive validation. I want companion confirmation that I am relevant in life's conversation, a vibrant and necessary part of my social connections, and this equation that I should be alive, find the goodness and thrive, help my fellow brother, and find the right stride on this, our collective journey through my loneliness.
Thank you. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you so much. Let me just remind everybody, it's 2 minutes. Beautiful poem, Brenda. Thank you so much. So we're going to move to the next person. Cliff Bernier, your poem has to be between 2 to 3 minutes. And Cliff, are you ready?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I think I can do it. This is, so I think because of these times, I've been sort of giving my brain a rest and going straight to the emotion, playing a lot of harmonica. This piece is a portrait of one of the 3 or 4 most influential blues harmonica players of all time. He had a nervous tic from birth, and so he got the nickname Shaky. Walter Horton, also known as Big Walter Horton. Rest easy, Big Walter, shaky from birth, blowing tin cans on a plantation. You were too shy to lead, but you led, like a breeze on a cotton field, like a walk into town, like Polly putting the kettle on. Soft chords surging to silence like ripening corn, like tall rice, like a country boy in the city. Big heart, big hands, big tone, that big, sweet tone. You purred, roared, and cried like a worried life, like a worried mind, worried, worried. Johnny Winter, your vibrato stirred street corners, dance parties, fish fries, roadhouses, alligator, chess, blind pig, mentored Sonny Boy, Little Walter, Musselwhite, Mad Cat, winnowed notes like a fall harvest, bent reeds like a summer rain. When you played, the blues fell all over. Rest easy, Big Walter, everybody's fishing.
Thank you, Cliff. Thank you so much. This is so much talent. I mean, everybody that has read tonight is just amazing. So much talent in the house. So the next person who's reading is Janet Walenta. Janet, are you ready? Hi, Janet.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Grace.
Thank you.
This poem is called Tenebrae. There's a bulb out above our stairway, and our ups and downs are shadowy. Our book club is reading a novel, lovely, lyrical, set in a third world country where it's a given that things don't work. And people go on in a style we haven't figured out yet. In our mother's waning days, dementia cast shade on the landscape of her mind. She saw terrifying things there. We tried to persuade her they weren't real, but she knew. The gloom on the steps reminds me of a late Lenten Tenebrae service. Someday, the last bulb will extinguish in a loud pop and fling us into night. The gloom reminds me of how we were told the churches would be packed on Easter, that this would all go away in April with the heat and the light. And I would just like to say that when I shared this with my husband, he fixed the light bulb above. Now I'm thinking of other things I can write poems about.
Thank you, Janet. Oh my goodness, that's good though. Oh my goodness. So is Greg ready? Greg or Naomi, are you ready to go?
I am ready. And
Okay,
Naomi will be
wonderful.
ready.
How
All
you
right.
doing?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. It's great to be here. Thanks for the invitation. It's nice to see so many familiar faces as well as a few people I haven't seen before. But yeah, this has been really excellent so far. So I think some people know, but maybe not everybody. I have a book coming out, a chap book coming out in sometime early next year. It's called Riffs and Improvisations, and it's collected a number of my poems about music, which is one of my big obsessions in writing. So this poem is one of the poems from that book. So I don't have anything like a pub date or ordering information yet, but if we get together later in the year, I might, and I'll be sure to share that. Any of you who know me personally can certainly stay in touch and find out. Anyway, this one is called Perhaps a Dance. Perhaps a dance. A simple two-step with just our fingertips touching and my hand very light on your back. And if you gently placed your hand on my shoulder, we could sweep each other along in lazy circles around the floor. And if just by chance you pressed your cheek to mine and rested your head against my neck, and I caught the scent of your hair and pulled your body a little more tightly to mine, and I couldn't for a moment tell your breathing from mine, or precisely where my leg ended and yours began, and you whispered something into my ear, and everything but the music and our dancing and our breathing stopped. Thank you. Okay. You're blocking the chat.
Hi, Naomi.
Hi, hello, am I next?
Yes, you are.
All right, thank you so much, Diane. Thanks for having this, Diane. This is wonderful, so inspiring. Thank you to the library folks. And I just want to give a shout out to my parents, Rosie and Jerry Thiers, because they are here from Portland, Oregon. And they were evacuated like a week ago. Now they're back. My parents are 87. And
Naomi, somehow the mute button is on. Can you unmute?
sorry,
No, it's good. Sorry, I accidentally hit it.
did you guys hear
Okay.
me in that?
No, go ahead.
We heard that. I think you left off 87 years old.
I'm sorry. Okay, got muted by accident.
Sorry
So
about that.
this poem is also from I have a book coming out also by Kelsey Books in a couple months. So this is from my upcoming book, and it's about light. It's for a friend of mine who really struggles with serious depression. And that's when you really need light, right? When you're really can't see any hope or light. And I know from being around her that if you just persist and you just kind of keep going, things will start to shift. So this is called Your Light, and it's in a form called a ghazal, Persian form. Your light. Somehow you spin a thread of hope, pale gold out of your history, your sad blood, summoning light. Send up a flare of laughter beneath a hard load. So many chores, grumbling suns. You drudge in light and cup that flame, even as your mood spins down to black. Depression stalks in its studded collar. Light a cigarette, call a friend, take your Paxil. Hold on in this season of cold mud until you sit in light April air, smell green in the world. Brush your long blonde hair. Its flood of yellow light, its beauty has been with you all your life. Consolation for the lack of light and hope in too many days. Cherish your light. Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful.
Forward to hearing everyone else.
Yes, the theme is hope and light, and this is so wonderful. All of you poets tonight are just bringing it, and it's wonderful. Thank you for all of your gifts this evening. So we're going to continue. And Patrice Smith, are you queued up? Are you ready?
You were going in, so it's cute. They didn't mind. I think they like
Okay, so I'm not seeing Patrice.
I'm right here.
Okay, great. Okay, so let me repeat. I want to hear all of you, and I really wish I could give you all feedback, but because we're only supposed to do this for an hour, we may be able to stretch it, but I want to hear everybody. And so 2 to 3 minutes, please.
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. And my piece is very short. I won't even take 2 minutes. It's from my latest book, and it's called Edging Closer. It's something that I wrote pertinent to the times that we're living in, and I think right now it's even more meaningful. Edging Closer. We're standing at the precipice of what could be some measured peace. If only our thoughts and actions would turn us away from so many cruel and evil deeds that have kept us all locked in this perilous place, longing to break from the spiraling path we've chosen to follow, and seek a way to finally break the crimson chains that bind our implacable minds, and forces us to stand pushing back against the wailing walls that sharply divide rather than unite us. Instead, we'd rather spew out venom and blame and see the faces of those not like us absorbed in deception, created by our own biased thoughts and warped perceptions, constantly threatening each other with weapons of absolute mass destruction, namely hate and bigotry, as if race or creed must dictate reasons why we should not strive for a higher ground as we diligently proceed. Showing mutual respect and kindness would be a meaningful way to sow some new and promising seeds. That's it.
Thank you, Patrice. Thank you. And Anne Bracken, are you ready? Thank you so much for your poem, Patrice.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, I'm ready. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all and just enjoying the wonderful poetry. So I take a walk every morning, and that's one of the ways that I center myself for my day. And I wrote this poem after I took a walk one morning in the springtime. It's called During a Morning Walk. I must lie down in a field of buttercups, heedless of the honeybees visiting the clover. I must caress the white fringe blossoms, pearls of softness hanging on spindly branches. I must discover the birth of a pine cone, beginning like tufts of cashmere, how I can run my fingers over its buds. I must allow pine cones and buttercups and fringe trees to share their secrets. I must lie down. Thank you.
Nice.
You know, this is so unfair that we don't get to talk after these poems. It's so unfair. But we got to move it right along so that we can hear everyone. Wow. So on my list next is David Barrett here. Okay, we're going to move right along. Sierra Dixon. Okay, so now I'm going to, I believe, Maggie, you're next. Maggie is all the way from Australia. So let's give her, she said she's never done this before, so we're just giving it the mic to you now, Maggie.
Hi, everyone. Although I have lived for 30 years in Australia, I was actually born in Coney Island, New York. And this poem is called Where I'm From. I'm from a seaside amusement park, from shrieks of laughter as the roller coaster ratchets up. I am from the first car, hands in the air, careening downhill, as brave as the boys. I'm from the sideshows where every player gets a prize. Please pay in advance. I am from the sidewalks of New York, piped from a cheerful calliope as the carousel spins. From the back of a jumping horse, kaleidoscope colored, jeweled saddle, I'm the one who goes for the brass ring. Thank you. And thank you for this wonderful opportunity.
Well, we thank you for being with us this evening for sure. So I'm seeing quite a few people still on my list. Sharon Ingram, are you ready? I can't hear you. You're on mute, Sharon.
Okay, there we go. Good evening, everyone. What a pleasure to be here and to hear such excellent poets. So I have a poem that I just grabbed in a hurry. It's a very short one. It's entitled Delight. The intersectionality of delight in my sight is uniqueness and excitement at a high height. It's a pleasurable and mighty might that we can welcome and indulge day or night. And the greater the delight, the higher its grace and its flight. Yes, grace is a bracket or brace placed on your delight that you can trace with blessings, peace, positivity, love, and tranquility. The descriptors are so broad, and it's so very important for all to get on board so that delight we all might. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sharon.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Next up is Bernardo. Bernardo, you ready? We are ready for you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everybody. I was one of the first people to host this this venue back in July, and at the time, I called my poem "Light in the Time of Darkness." So it's very interesting to see that through Diane, we still have that overall theme of light. And I was finally able to complete the title poem, Light in Time of Darkness. So I want to go ahead and present that for you. Here we are in a space where stars seem even further than where they were before. Fog, smoke, clouds evoke thoughts of cloaks that choke away our dreams of hope. Slippery slopes are slipperier. Be careful what you say. Lights of longest nights can be seen in light of day. Some consider wisp of whispers, will this ever go away? Shadows and shapes that bring weight so enormous, perched in torments of this fight. We need that light in time of darkness. Father, what this
Normal cold. or Captain. Let me see. Get up in the front. Get over here. Your hand. Oh, your hand's cold.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry to interrupt, Bernardo. We had some audio interference. I needed to mute everyone, so I just got to unmute you. You might want to start again. We're not sure what the interference was. One moment. So sorry for the interruption. Okay, all yours. Sorry about that.
All right. Light in time of darkness. Here we are in a space where stars seem even further than where they were before. Fog, smoke, clouds evoke thoughts of cloaks that choke away our dreams of hope. Slippery slopes are slipperier. Be careful what you say. Sights of longest nights can be seen in light of day, where some consider wisp of whispers, will this ever go away? Shadows and shapes that bring weight so enormous, perched in torment of this fight, we need that light in time of darkness. Father, part this sea of bleakness, help us meet this challenge of this age. Keep us focused as the judgment meet with rage. Raise the curtains of our blindness, help us find this sight we need, that weight that takes us higher, the size of mustard seeds. Feed us of your peace, increase our daily dose, help us find inside ourselves these things we need the most. Faith that takes us higher, hope that soars where choirs go when rising to crescendo, love beyond desire. Give us that required. Bring healing from the harshness, revealing from the core of us this light, this might, this bright, this sight, this light in time of darkness.
Yes, that's what we need to turn the lights on. I think that's what we're doing tonight, is certainly turning on the lights with all this wonderful, amazing poetry. Next up on the mic is Tricia. Tricia, you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, we're ready.
Good afternoon from California, and I am pleased as punch to be among all the talented poets here tonight. My poem is called We Are Searching the Night for the Moon, because we have to find that light any way we can, even if it's just reflected back at us. I am expelled into the cruelty in this world, bursting forth with the protest of lusty lungs, longing already for home and the comfort of a native land. I enter brazen, but still pure. That innocence already a beacon, calling upon every savage insecurity and diseased ideology to ravage me upon my arrival as they hail down, eager to imprint, starved to weigh me down with the weight of their vile bodies, seared upon mine. First breath, sipped cautiously, and the air is thick with unrealistic expectations with which to raise and educate me to be a man's kind of girl in a man's kind of world, only to prod me to the highest ladder rung for the sole purpose of knocking me all the way down, face first, in the muck of their sickening fetish. Be this, don't do that. What is a girl to do afterward? She obediently dons the skirt she is given and slaps on the war paint to feel pretty, to feel protected. We come from our mother's womb, warriors, and are poured into our father's house subservient. We are carried over our husband's threshold, cowed, because we cease to have the legs that function without permission, function with their own direction. It is agonizing to see how each toe has forgotten that when it presses to Mother Earth and is connected to where our life's energy springs from, we are connected in soul to other mothers and other sisters, and here each one a goddess, is rendered obsolete. Forgotten, multitudes who are one with each star, the sky, which each star in the sky, infinity, each crystal grain of sand. I want to reclaim that first breath, gulfed in worlds full of untainted by those breathe out fire and the gall of their judgment at my actions and my existence. I want to know how my legs can pump of their own volition, not to run away in terror or run toward the bleakness of submission, but to run and run for the joy of doing so, and doing as one pleases, for living inside and outside the lines, zigzagging madly, unapologetic. I yearn to see my coven, all my fair maidens, hair unbound, palms outstretched in playing rays of sunlight, like heartstrings between gentle, nurturing fingers. Sisters, in the light of the mother moon, I dream every day of our freedom.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Tricia. Well, that's going to take us to, again, these are so wonderful. I just wish that I could, I don't know, if I could just host you, keep you all right where you are. And because this is amazing, just amazing poetry this evening. Susan Sunday, are you ready? The time limit, again, I just want to remind everybody, because I want to try to get everybody in, is 2 to 3 minutes. That's all that we have per poem.
I will speed read. This is from my ongoing collection, which I've just retitled The Crossed Out Wife. Juggernaut of the lonely obsessed, a great force that comes. Cord that wraps itself around our necks. You burn our stables, steal our horses, parch our overalls. Teach the knights in their logias to fear us. The days come just to give our nights a break, show love and be loved. A smile might beget a pterodactyl or two from the hems of their ancient shirts, the feathered minion they've been toting since prehistory's birth. Poor, dumb humans, your minds ruminate too much, then overinflate, like pigs' bladders filling with asterisks. Your blood percolates on no back burner, grabs whatever of its heart the night cares to toss it. The crumbs your tables host so small, the ants are first to see them. You barbecue on spits what's left, and the Santa Ana winds grab your fires. As pioneers, you have needs like your fathers before you. The great dark night of history shows you exploring the new world, as first you saw it in your imaginations. Oh, gluttony, how you ate from it, giant stew pot, its contents you thought endlessly available. Your boundaries have never known limits. You saddle fault lines with A-frames and mansions and watch them sink in. Your tract homes go up in matchstick forest. No's not an answer you acknowledge. It's the no you've worked on saying for years. Quicker than the beating of a hummingbird's heart, you find yourself marinating in the everlasting dark, attributing the loss of light to poor vision, the encroaching clouds to cataracts, and the ceaseless caterwauling of feral cats. The dust on your sills transitions easily to hardship. Your bodies go forth daily into suffering. Foxes repeatedly raid your hen house. Wolves long ago took down the cow. The death wings stopped orbiting and lands alongside your pale brows. Ice that shouldn't breaches your vineyards. The cold stone of unexpected winter gut punches the ground you stand on. Your washing machines stop washing, and all over America, women's hands grow raw from scrubbing death's laundry. Poor, dumb humans, to wake, you find, is to die. And when all's gone awry, death seems not too bad an option. It possesses a mouth like a teacup, holds the contents of an ocean. Drowning in it is a sure thing. You take off in multiplicity of ill-fated directions, corpses piling up for the earth to mourn. Goodbye, life, say yourselves, even before they've done with you. No more parties, no first run movies. One take is all you get in this raw and bloody epic you've created. Bamboozled out of, stop me when you think you should stop me.
All
All right, one last one. This addresses last night's thing, so I'll just read it.
Okay.
Bamboozled out of dreams by our own great leaders, carnival barkers and game show hosts posing as great leaders, judge and jury of the gray and fleeing hordes, pistol whipped and sentenced to life inside unbreachable walls, forced to make license plates and bungee cords for travelers and sexual deviants. I'll stop there.
Thank you, Sue. Susan, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, and I'm sorry that you have to stop there, but it's just
okay.
We got a full list of poets who would love to read. Sister Joy is next. Sister Joy, are you with us?
Yes, I am. I
There
apologize.
she is. Hi, Sister Joy.
Hello, hello. I've been loving the poetry. Thank you, everyone. I have a relatively short poem titled Fireside Bliss. Laughter danced on our lips as we sipped Chardonnay under the spell of flickering flames that danced and pranced, licking logs like butterflies lighting on flowers, igniting our souls, inviting us to join her dance of seduction. Wrapped in her warmth, we bask in the glow of this fabricated euphoria, questioning only the logs, their ability to withstand the fire's dance.
Wow. Thank you, Sister Joy. Thank you, thank you. Our next poet up. I just wish I could talk to you all about these poems. Liz, where's Elizabeth? Are you ready, Liz?
I'm here. Thank you, Diane.
Great.
Thank you all. Thank you, Nick, Diane, and Grace. Thank you all. It's just wonderful to be with you. This is called Soul Collage. I am one who is crowned with light. I am one who has an open hand. I am one who sees. I am one who waits. I am one who feels light. I am one who is not afraid. I am one who touches every light. I am one who is young and fresh. I am one who sees deeply. I am one who rests in the shelter of the rock. I am one who signals open. I am one who breathes in beauty. My gift to you is fearlessness. What I want you to know is you can go deeper. My gift to you is light and shadow. I want you to know you are not alone. I want you to know the light will find you. I want you to be, guide, see, feel. Light carving, ochre hand discovers deeply, crowned with light, open hand, deeply rests in the shelter of the rock, breathes in beauty, fearlessness. You can go deeper, light and shadow. You are not alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. I think the light is finding all of us in these amazing poems this evening. Oh my goodness. Now we have Tawanda. Tawanda, are you ready? We are ready for you.
Ready.
Okay,
Hey.
here we are.
All right. Good to see everyone. Great poems. I'm going to share a piece called The Light. Imagine that. From my latest book, Seasons of Myself. I feel God moving me towards the light, great stirring and pulling within, dawns breaking minute by minute, bringing morning that relieves the night. Dark shadows fall as the light brings illumination. God is moving me towards the light as I catch flickers of purpose that spring forth, and I embrace understanding as I see the light of the sun reflecting and radiating in me. God is moving me towards the light, to fight the enemy within, to stop turning my face away and start living in the fullness of whom he created me to be. I am unblinded by the light. God is moving me towards the light, and the path leads me to the open gate to God, who created me in his divine image, handiwork of the master's hands, designed for his perfect plan. Oh, God is moving me towards the light, the season of winter, just a vapor. A light bursts forth. I am shielded from the dark. Drawing me to unknown revelation, I respond to the call of the light. God is moving me towards the light, breathing space that connects me to God, where I commune with the creator of light and all things good. The light, the light, the light encompasses all. The brightness of time never ends.
Thank you, Tawanda. Okay, that is great. So we're going to move on to Luther. Luther, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Yes, here I am.
Okay, great.
Okay, here's a poem I wrote recently. The Builders. Who made this house? Who saw the timbers laid, the stone foundation? Who carved the door frames and the windowsills? Who dug the well and ran the pipes? Who forged the pump handle? And who stoked the fires to smelt the ore from which the stove was cast? What mason troweled the chimney bricks, course on course to reach toward the heavens? Who kept the ledgers, for that matter, at the lumberyard? Who fed the dog that guarded it at night? Who turned the lathe to craft the chair you sit in, or the table where you nightly dine? Yes, you who live here now. You did not get here on your own. And when you sleep and dream, you do not dream alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Luther. Wow. We need to have a class on everybody's poem this evening. My goodness. So, Sally, you're up next. Where's Sally Toner? Where is she?
Here.
Okay, there you are. Hi, Sally.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much to the library. And so this one is my nephew Miles, who I'm missing tonight, and I think it is about hope. It's called Jabberjaw from Miles. Jabberjaw is a freaking snitch. The Neptunes were funded by the DEA to bust hippies. My husband thinks he's really clever, but making fun of Hanna-Barbera characters is like shooting ducks in a barrel. I explained that our 4-year-old nephew demanded that I draw him a shark, and my first attempt resembled a duck with 3 arms. You see his face? My nephew said, pointing backwards to his frown. This isn't because your shark was bad. You just drew him in the wrong place. Then he flipped the notebook over and showed me clean paper, a clean slate, just like that. Yes, my sage and light up sneakers, I see your face. The monkey bar gash under your bangs that will heal, and your missing front teeth that will grow back. I remember when I was you. Learning how to whistle, trying so hard with nothing crossing my lips but tinted air. I had not passed the graveyard yet. So I'll draw you Jabberjaw, a drum-jamming, crime-fighting shark whose tongue is sharper than his teeth, because you are way past Saint-Exupéry. You didn't ask me to draw a sheep or an elephant swallowed whole by a boa constrictor. Instead, you asked for a shark, the oldest creature in our evolution, even as he solves mysteries and keeps the beat in the near future of our unturned page.
Wow. Thank you, Sally. Thank you so much. Our next poet on the list is Ann Ritter. Anne, are you with us? I'm not seeing you.
I'm right here. You were seeing my, there I
Yes,
go.
I am seeing you, Anne. How you doing?
I am good. And I was sent this poem. It is not my poem. It is by Maria Sabina. I was sent it twice in the last 2 weeks, and I decided I need to share it and make it 3 on the eve of the full moon in this time of times. So it's called Cure Yourself. Cure yourself with the light of the sun and the rays of the moon, with the sound of the river and the waterfall, with the swaying of the sea and the fluttering of birds. Heal yourself with the mint and mint leaves, with neem and eucalyptus. Sweeten yourself with lavender, rosemary, and chamomile. Hug yourself with the cocoa bean and a touch of cinnamon. Put love in tea instead of sugar, and take it looking at the stars. Heal yourself with the kisses that the wind gives you and the hugs of the rain. Get strong with bare feet on the ground and with everything that is born from it. Get smarter every day by listening to your intuition, looking at the world with the eye of your forehead. Jump, dance, sing so that you live happier. Heal yourself with beautiful love, and always remember, you are the medicine.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Love in tea instead of sugar. I'll have to remember that when we have our tea party again, Grace. We got to remember that to bring just a little love is all we need, right? So ZM, I have never, I haven't heard you. Where are you coming from, ZM?
I currently live in Houston, Texas, but I'll be relocating soon to my hometown of Chicago. So I'm just gonna say I'm from Chicago.
Okay, great. Okay, so we have Chicago in the house. So you got 2 minutes, between 2 and 3 minutes, and you're on.
Oh, wonderful. First of all,
If you turn off your picture, you may do better with your sound.
Yeah, we're not hearing you well. It's not clear. Yeah, ZM, we're still not hearing you.
ZM, if you'd like to try calling in through the phone access, that might be better, and we can get back to you. I'll plug in the phone number.
Okay, so just to let everyone know, okay, you ready? No, it's still bad. Nick suggested that you call in, ZM, to do your poem because it's very delayed. It's not coming through. We can't hear you. Yeah, we still can't hear you. Is it possible for you to call in? And while you're doing that, we'll go to, let's see, I'm looking on the list. I thought I saw Jesse. Still not coming in clear. So while you get that sorted out, is Jesse here? I don't think I see him. So let me
how do I call in?
There's a number.
It's in the chat.
Check the chat. Check the chat.
In the chat, and it is also in your email confirmation.
Yeah. So in that time frame, while we wait for ZM to call in, is there any poet that I didn't have the conclusive list, but we would love to hear from you if you're a poet that hadn't read yet.
I have not read yet.
Yes.
I have not read yet either.
There's Jesse. Yes. Okay, so we have 2 poets that, so let's go ahead. Storm, Jesse, we'll come back to you because Storm came in first. So can you please read? We're doing 2 to 3 minutes tops.
Okay, my name is Storm and I'm calling in from Greenfield, Massachusetts. and I found you on all events.
Wow, wonderful.
Catch the fire of my eyes and send it spinning rainbow-like around the room as if such were the world, and you could send rainbows to Soweto and Ireland, to Iran, Iraq, to Afghanistan and Sudan, to Washington, D.C. and Portland, Oregon, rainbows whose pots are filled with missing people alive and doing well, rainbows to say no more floods from constant tears. Catch the fire of my eyes and send it spinning rainbow-like around the room as if such were the world, and you could send rainbows even into the most secretive of prisons, as if such would lighten even the darkest of hearts.
Thank you. Wonderful. Wow. Thank you. So let's see. Jesse, are you ready?
I am ready. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you.
Excellent. This one's called Fireflies. It's something I wrote a while back for my wife. In this dream, we're small and full of wonder again, and we're surrounded in the lost heat of some worn out summer vacation's dusk by a cloud of fireflies. And we begin to glow inside that music your barefoot little brown girl giggle makes. Look, you say, showing me the firefly kissing your index finger as we sit Indian style in someone else's backyard. I turn just in time to watch your braids become wise women dreads, moon-flecked, and down to your shoulders. Look, you say again, and in that almost autumn dusky voice of yours, as I kiss your index finger.
I know Carol loves that poem.
Yeah, this is a date poem, so you know.
Wow.
I won.
Good for you, Jesse. Oh my goodness. So let's see, is there anyone else that's on that did ZM call in?
It's Sue Silver here. I was going to read. Hey, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Terrific. So yeah, I have a new poem. It's called The Desk. I returned from a trip to find a very large desk on the landing of the second floor. The bottom drawer will not slide in. Eventually, I remove that and stand it alongside the desk. My son tells me his dad gave it to him. It is, of course, Doris's desk, a piece I loved. Its small drawers, each with a lock, the old-fashioned kind of brass, and finely shaped with rounded shaft. I make a plan to move it to another room, to use it there perhaps. Clear space for the tall glass-doored bookshelf that will sit above it. Somehow, that doesn't happen. I like it here, though, on the landing. Although today, after meditation, I take time to go through each part of it. Remove the tape that holds the small drawers closed. Open each of them. A key, a receipt, and a plastic bag. More keys. An envelope with 3 small starfish, perfectly preserved. An address label for an envelope. A single key which fits the desk. Oh, the lovely fragrance of thyme and wood that rises from these drawers. It is a lovely piece, mahogany, made somewhere in South America. I think back to when I was called to the hospital in Washington, D.C. Doris so ill. Please come. We are sitting with her. My sister-in-law wailing with the pain of it. Lined up in chairs around the foot and sides of the bed are we, 2 brothers with their wives and kids grown now, and I the ex of one brother. I had gone to the lounge for a few moments when my inner voice called. It called me back to the room. I sat on the side of Doris' bed, held her hands and kissed her. As Doris took her last breath, our breaths mingling. This woman had been so important in my life. Dearest Doris.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you so much. We're almost approaching time, but I did see ZM. I do want to try to get him in if it's possible. ZM, are you able to dial in?
Yeah, here, can you hear me?
Yes, that is really, yeah, that's very clear.
Oh wow, now I can hear me. Yikes, no. Okay, well, first of all, I'm so astounded by this collective talent, and just happy to be surrounded by all of you. So this piece I wrote after a meditation session, and it's just called Sunba. It's S-U-N-B-A. I couldn't find a title, so I just used someone's last name. So, okay, so here we go. Out of mind after a 20-minute meditation span, spent in the dim carpeted room with one pane of glass scenery, peering at outside life, looking in. Pretzel-legged on the ebony half-sphere pillow, the eldest mantra has returned to the declared repeatedly until awakened from the temporary chrysalis. The astral body sways, the physical body sways, the heavenly body is tempted to collapse, but straight-line posture keeps it intact and secure. Voices made of celestial air conditioners blow artificial wind. One statement of unrecognizable power swallows the shaded one whole. Relapse of 15 laps around the one-track mind, perfectly centered within the self. Geometric vision, body symmetry, your floating lips are art. Kiss this canvas balanced on an organic easel. For one relatively safe moment, forget intertwining public fingers, forget secret stairwell lovers, forget inadmissible evidence of cottonmouth pressure and maroon cheeks. Bow to the invisible, the eyes align, dispose of all asinine pauses, return to the time of humble beginnings. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm glad you were able to get in. Is there anyone that we've omitted in tonight's reading?
I'd like to read if there's still time.
Yeah, I think we do have a couple of minutes left. Yes, Brianna.
Okay. So this is a poem that I wrote during the pandemic, and it's called Waiting for Renewal. I wrote it back in April. The day is coded in something unrecognized as silence spills out of empty streets and darkened stores. But downstairs, the windows are thrown open and our house is alive with the wind. The TV is slick with a worldwide grief, and my bare feet are itching for something new and untouched by disaster. Somewhere beyond the clattering voices, the birds still sing, sweet notes slipping through the spaces in the silence, surprising ears awake enough to be listening. In these, the stillest of moments, we forge a path forward. Flowers still take root, grow, and flourish, forever reminding of life and renewal. My bare feet take me into the textured grass as a light says a slow goodbye, slipping quietly into the trees. Here, in the flicker of evening, I will fall upon the earth's soft soil, and I will wait for the face of the sun to once again warm what has gone cold.
Wow.
Thank you.
I think that will wrap us up. Thank you so much, Brianna. It was beautiful. This has been an amazing night. You all have lit my heart for sure. this is, I can't say any more than I wish that there was an open forum where we could discuss your poems. Each of them enlightened me. And I'm sure, Grace, how do you feel about that? Can you talk to us as well? It's amazing. You're still on mute. Can you unmute, Grace?
The energy is astounding. The energy is overwhelming. Everyone came with such an open heart. It's really touching. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you, Grace. And you know, you started us out, Grace, with your beautiful light that shines. It's amazing to be able to be in your presence and then to hear every last one of you poets. I told you you guys were going to be the star. I told you that. You guys were the stars tonight, and I am just excited to have been your host. And you are going to have an amazing month next month, because guess who is going to be your host? None other than Brenda Bunting. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. So it's going to be an amazing time next month as well, because Brenda will be hosting it. And I just want to say thank you to the Prince George's County Memorial Library System for allowing us to have this forum to listen to these amazing poets from as far as Australia, Chicago, Texas. I mean, we have the whole gamut. I'm sure I don't have all of the locations, but I thank you I know from Pennsylvania.
Greenfield, Massachusetts.
Yes, that's right. That's right, Storm. That's right. Absolutely. And we thank you so much. And I have to say thank you so much, Nick, for being here and sponsoring this for us. And to Grace Cavalieri. Oh my goodness.
Thank you, sweetie.
Wow.
Good
We had
night.
fun, didn't we?
We always do.
Yes, we do.
Just put us together and all the sparks fly.
That's exactly right. So Nick, I know you have a hard stop at 8:30. Is there anything that you want to say before we end?
Yes, well, thank you on behalf of all of us at the library, to you, Diane, for hosting this very special evening. I think this has been a highlight of the poetry events that we've had. And thank you to Grace for honoring us with your presence and your contributions. We are so grateful to your service as Poet Laureate, and we are very grateful here in Prince George's County that you have been able to support this series on multiple occasions now. I would also like to give a very special shout out to Creative Suitland, which are our co-presenters for this series. If you don't know about Creative Suitland, check out their website. They're a fabulous arts and creative hub in Prince George's County that is affiliated with Joe's Movement Emporium, which is, of course, another great arts organization that has been supporting the community for decades. And collectively, Joe's and the library and the community college and Human Relations Commission have been doing a lot of programming around equity, diversity, inclusion, and anti-racism during the pandemic. And that will be continuing well into the future. You know, despite us all having to be in limited physical spaces right now for the sake of everyone's safety, these virtual gatherings have really allowed us to connect in a unique way. And it makes my heart sing to know that Prince George's County is gathering people from all over the world so that we can all share our truths with each other. And that's a really special thing that not all libraries are doing. So please, 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 when you have a chance to participate in advocating for our library, we invite you to do that. And if you need any tools and resources, feel free to get in contact with me at any time. And if you'd like to catch up on past programs, you can visit our YouTube page, youtube.com/PGCMLS. This recording will get sent out to all of you in email, and then it'll be posted shortly. Again, the next event in this series is Wednesday, October 28th at 7 p.m. And the last thing I will do before plugging the census and the election again, because I have to do that, is invite you to a few author programs that we have coming up. The library is part of the One Maryland, One Book program through Maryland Humanities, which features a blockbuster author every year. And it's a big community read and a wonderful time for the whole state to celebrate the importance of literacy and the role of libraries in promoting literacy. So we encourage you to visit our website to learn more about that, pgcmls.info. We have New York Times bestselling author Lisa C., the author of Island of Sea Women, joining us.
Oh, yeah.
Sunday night at 7 o'clock, and you can get all the details at our website. And then we'll have book discussions throughout the month of October, with a big one on October 20th. Also on Wednesday, October 7th, we're partnering with the Human Relations Commission, the Maryland Commission on Civil Rights, and the Black Caucus of the American Library Association to present Eddie S. Glaudy Jr., whose new book, Begin Again, discusses James Baldwin and framework for race in American society right now. So that's another great event. And then on Thursday, we're commemorating LGBTQ+ History Month with a visit by author Carter Sickles, who is an award-winning author through Lambda Literary, and his new novel called The Prettiest Star looks at the impact of AIDS in rural America in the late 80s, and it's a really beautiful book, even though it deals with some very, very heavy and devastating topics. So lots of great events coming on up beyond that. We're here for you. If there's something that you would like us to do for you that we are not doing yet, please get in touch, because we're here to serve you. And without further ado, I think we'll wrap it up.
Could you put your website address in the chat?
Chat, pgcmls.info, and I'll be adding you to the mailing list, Storm. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Request. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Discord for teens coming up starting tomorrow if you're a teen and into that.
And could I make a very quick announcement?
Sure, go for it.
I put into the chat information about an organization that I was a founder of and then on the board of directors and steering committee of, called People's Music Network for Songs of Freedom and Struggle. If you're interested in songs and poetry, spoken word for peace, social justice, we do something every week. Members participate. There's a small dues, but you can watch us free on Facebook. And I put the information into the chat as to how to do all that, plus a number of things that we've got archived, but we've also got much more archived.
Wonderful. Thank you, Storm. Diane, would you like to do the last word?
Yeah, I do. I just want to say thank you to our Maryland State Poet Laureate, Grace Cavalieri, as well as our Prince George's County Poet Laureate, Sister Joy, for being here this evening. And I have to say hello to my sister, Debbie Wilbon, who is, she was here this evening. She's still here. And I'm just so excited that, hi, Debbie. And I'm just so excited that all of you were here. You made this night a perfect evening for Grace, Nick, and I. So thank you, in the library and Creative Suitland. Thank you.
Shout out to Sister Joy, who's awesome. If you don't know her work, please look it up online. We have one of her recent poems that was done in the summer up on our Poetry Hub about race and the pandemic, pgcmls.info/poetry. We'll be having our second annual poetry contest again at some point in the winter or spring, so stay tuned for that. And we'll bid you all a wonderful, safe, healthy rest of the week. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again for poetry in October.
Thank you.